Alright. I had to pick up where I left the last video because, well, I decided to do a two-parter for this one. Mainly because the first part I had a lot of comics to talk about. Roughly like 22 issues of New Titans, a special, an issue of Damage, kind of talk about 2 issues of Dark Stars. Those who know what the heck Dark Stars is, it is a title written by Michael Jan Fredman. He wrote this series. And at the time when these issues came out, John Stewart was on the roster for Dark Stars. They wore like these red suits with like white stars on them. And I believe they were controlled by the controllers. Yeah, Donna Troy was on the team. But when I get a chance to talk about this series, the plan is when I finish reviewing Volume 3 for Green Lantern, I'm going to do Guy Gardner, Green Lantern Mosaic, and Dark Stars. Because they're Cosmetics titles, why not? Those of you curious about Legion and Lobo, I may do this at some point. I'm not sure, but who knows? All right, so annual number 9 for New Titans. I forgot to talk about this. I keep forgetting some of these annuals. And number 9 is part of the Bloodline stuff, and debuts a brand new character named Anima. Her name, Courtney Mason, who, right after this annual came out, basically being her debut appearance, she got a solo book. Yep. Solo book lasted for 13 issues, and it got canceled. Yep. That is pretty much in the way what this annual is. It's basically, of course, yes, it's part of the Bloodline stuff, obviously, but it's Anima's debut. That's literally what it is. And here's the interesting thing comes to this book. It is not done by Mark Wolfman. It is the first annual not done by him. You're like, really? Was it anything like that? No, Mark Wolfman did write that one. But what about number 9? He did not write this one. Did he write number 10? The answer is, yes he did, with Louise Simonson. Now, what about the people working this annual? Did these two people work on the Anima title? Excuse me. The answer is, to answer this question, did these two people work on her solo book? And the answer is yes. Yes, they did. It's like right after this annual came out. It's like, my guess is if DC ever decides to collect the Bloodline stuff and trade, like in case of Anima, it's probably going to collect this very annual and her solo book. And probably some stuff for Bloodlines. And number 10 is a really cool annual. It's set in sort of this, the Titans are warriors. And by the way, it's covered by Louise Simonson. Yes. It's called Feeks. Yeah, where like the villain of this book is basically Raven, Trigon. It's basically kind of almost like a medieval take on the Teen Titans, but really fun book. Yeah, I always enjoy these ones. You have Scott Lee on the artwork, which is interesting. I'm going to get the 2 annuals. Anima's not a bad character per se. I'm going to get both annuals roughly a 9 out of 10. Next up we have is Showcase presents The Atom. Volume 2. Which collects issues 18 to 38. Yes. Now, the obvious question is, why the heck did this book end after 38 issues? Well, there actually is a reason why. Well, for one thing, it was continued as the Atom and Hawkman for about 8 issues. Actually, about 7 issues before the book got canceled. Yeah. The main reason why? Sales were terrible. That was mainly the reason for it. Is there any historical feats with these particular issues? Like any debuts, like really cool villains? Not really. It's basically just A lot of it's still Gardner Fox, still doing really interesting writing here, and still more Silver Age stuff here. I would not call it nonsense. 19 has a guest appearance here by Zatanna as part of her traveling. Like, it was actually the third comic she appeared in. Yeah, that's one thing interesting about this very issue. It's her third ever appearance, and it's part of a storyline she's looking for a father, and they concluded in Justice League America 51. Mm-hmm. She had previously appeared in Detective Comics 336. That was a very previous appearance. In the case of issue 20, it's mostly put him more one-shot characters. That's most of what a lot of these issues are, one-shot characters. I mean, in issue 20, we get involved with the CIA. '22 fights the Bat Knights. Yeah. And they appear 3 times. They appeared previously in an issue of Action Comics. Actually, they appeared also return for issue 30 of this very book. And then they pop in Action Comics, and that's the last I see of them. And the one member is Eddie Gordon. Also, this issue has one. Yeah, the basic issue is only probably one story. 22. It's back to 2 stories again, and the first appearance of Eterina Nagaragi. Yeah, this issue here is actually her. Well, an early appearance of her. Also fighting a character named Billy Knowles, who is another one-shot character. Basically, it's a burglar. Because a lot of this is basically just, let's have Ray Palmer fight against random science villains. Oh yeah, and issue 24 returned the Philonic Man in his second ever appearance. I believe this was his first time appearance since issue 1 of the title. Yes, then we have 25. Him fighting the Man in the Ion Mask. Not Iron Mask, Ion Mask. And this guy would return in an issue of All New Adam. Yes, another character who returned for that very book. Yeah, and the backup story is Spy Without for Gold. It's more spy stuff for him. And then issue 26, first appearance, the Bug-Eye Bandit. Yeah, this guy was around for a good period of time, even after the book wrapped up. Yeah, this would be one of like 2 appearances he would make. It would be issue 23. He apparently would make a return in All New Adam, but he got killed off in Crisis on Infinite Earths. He appeared sporadically after this issue. He's not the big character, but he is a recurring character. 27. Fights a guy named Panther. Which, one of only 2 appearances of this guy, they ended up being in an issue of All New Adam. The backup story is basically just some assassins. 28, I believe this is a return of... Yeah, it's the 3rd appearance of Kronos in this book. And I believe this was the... Excuse me. I believe this was his... Well, we're getting close to the very end of this book. Then him fighting the Thinker in issue 29. A character who originally appeared in All Flash. Yes, apparently... Oh yeah, and this issue is noteworthy for one other thing. This also is one of 2 times that Al Pritt, the original Adam, made a guest star appearance. It was part of the whole thing in the 60s to bring back Golden Age characters, like having Jay Garrick make appearances in Barry Allen's Flash. That's the most popular one. In this book here. Alan Scott make occasional appearances as a Green Lantern. Surprisingly, we never had the Earth 2 Batman meet Earth 1 Batman, or even Earth 2 Superman meeting Earth 1 Batman. There was an instance of Earth 2 Wonder Woman meeting Earth 1 Wonder Woman. That happened as a prototype for these crossovers. But I thought it was a really interesting idea. I think the other time is actually toward the end of the book. And I think you're just some villain from Earth 2. And issue 30 is basically a return of the Bat Knights in their final appearance in this book. 31 is basically another team between Adam and Hawkman. And I guess the DC must like this so much, they gave him a team book not long after this issue. Like within like 8 frickin' issues. 32. Which, of course, at this point, they reduced the amount of stories down to 1. And 33 is basically just a rematch with the Bug-Eye Bandit. 34 is basically just a group known as the Big Gang. Interesting. 35. It just... Well, the backup story is first a guy named Colonel Tom's Blood. Which, apparently this was a real-life person. Yeah, it's a time travel story. Because apparently toward the end of the book, lets us have time travel stories for reasons unknown. Oh yeah, and have 36 be another team between Alfred and Ray Palmer. Second and last 32 team in the title. And let's have where we debut Major Mana in issue 37. Yep, a character who would appear just a couple times afterwards. It's a bird. In 38, the final issue, it is basically the Animverses looks like some aliens. Like robots. And that's the title in a nutshell. It's not a terrible title per se. I would say the most interesting issues, in my honest opinion, is when he fights the Pharaonic Man, Kronos, the debuting Bug-Eye Bandit, and when he teams up with Alfred. Excuse me. A lot of the issues are basically like not much going on here per se with these ones, but I'm gonna give the book roughly a 8.5 out of 10 because the book still has good artwork. Yep. And with that pre-tale, I am done reviewing the first book for the Atom. He has 3 books left. The very next book to review for him is going to be Sword of the Atom. But before I do that, I'm going to do the very first volume because it came out just before that first volume for Sword of the Atom. And that's going to be the first volume of Firestorm. Why not? I think it's a good idea. I'll review volume 2 when I finish up reviewing Sword of the Atom, Power of the Atom, and All New Atom. But that's next anime review is Sword of the Atom. But basically I'll do Firestorm volume 1 first. It's only 5 issues, so it shouldn't take me very long. Okay? But yeah, that's particularly a particular view. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and do another like button. There may be another video coming, but who knows? Okay? Next video. Bye.